Shit, you know what I'm saying? Like, some social shit for everyone, you know what I'm saying? Like, I may just be myself, so hear me. Woo! I mean, like, we can put all that clown shit away. There's some real shit for you. I'm spazzing right now, so listen, let's go. Yeah. It's in their bones, the thoughts and harmony for the love of the money. Then fall victim for the cookie, then turn pussy, it's lonely. You said you hold it down when life get rough, we're here now, so show me. We move them losses to them wins. Heavy pounds, we make it ends meet. Converse with only few who make me feel like I be 10 feet.
Yep. Was that MP Poe? What's going on, man? Apologies. I was just in the middle of a phone call, hence the reason why I had to push back the stream. 15 minutes. Hopefully this will not be too long because I do have to run off. But I said, nah, man, we got to talk about the game yesterday. Do you know what I mean? We got to talk about Liverpool versus Chelsea. Big up everybody inside the building. Usual crap, man. Just make sure you smash a like, share, subscribe, you know, all of that kind of good stuff. I'm joined this morning by the gaffer. I'm saying the manager, Slot himself, Klopp himself. I don't know what you man want to call him. Big up, Jerry. We tell him, you know, bro.
What's going on, man? I'm calm. I'm just jonesing at the moment. I'm gonna head out.
Keeping up with the Joneses and that, yeah. Say no more.
Joneses, man. You know like that. When the stocks are high, that's what happens. You feel like you're, you know what I mean? You know, we're a top poker blackjack player when you put your stocks in the right assets. You know what I mean? When they rise quick. You know like that.
We saying it's coming like it's coming like Bitcoin and that. Just out of nowhere, just boom.
Out of nowhere, all of a sudden. But thing is, if you've done your research, you weren't out of nowhere. There were murmurs, there were rumblings. There were. You read into some reports. You're like, raw, like something's going on there. Some people didn't want to see it. Now you're seeing it, and you're like, raw. I'm seeing people doing 360s and 180s and 420s. You know I mean, spinning around the block. Yeah, man.
Hey, man. Nah, you know, actually, you know, on that, yeah, you know, what's so mad. Bro, I can't even lie, man. I wish, because there was some girl who told me about Bitcoin. This was quite like when it was first coming through. I promise you, I thought it was a what's that thing, man? Like a
affiliate program.
No. I thought it was like a what's them like Ponzi kind of schemes? You know where like
the pyramid schemes.
Yeah, pyramid. That's it. Pyramid
affiliate programs where they're like, you know, like the Drewski thing, where they're like, sign someone up.
Yeah. I thought it was, but I like when she was like, I was like, what Bitcoin? I was like, what the fuck is all that? I can never forget, because now she does, like, it's funny because now she does trading and stuff like that now, isn't it? Like, and she's living in Dubai and all this stuff. And I remember sitting there. I remember one time she messaged me just randomly asking like, yo, let's meet up for, you know, coffee or whatever. This is years ago. Let's meet up for coffee and, you know, talk about, you know, this thing, like, you know, trust me, you can make a lot of money in the future. But bro, this is a young G, you know. Yeah, I'm still in uni these times.
Thing is, even the Bitcoin thing, let's just be honest, man. It's all Ponzi anyway, bro. Like,
it is.
Unfortunately, you see with currency, when it comes to currency, that side of things, the only way a currency works if there's a unified like agreement that this is what we're going to use in it. Like, you know, like if we just decided amongst ourselves as a population, said, you know, F the pound. Candles. That's where the money is. If we just decided that, then the whole monetary system like it crumbles. So unfortunately, you would need to get all the banks on side. You need to get all the people on side. You need to be able to pay with Bitcoin. Then you have to there's so many factors that it rises because of popularity and demand at a certain point. but there's not like, you know, like the billionaires of this world. They might have had it, like obviously might be they invest in everything, but they're not putting all their money into Bitcoin and stuff because there's nothing, there's nothing from it. Look, this was like 10 years ago, brother. We're still not using it.
Yeah, well, this is
I mean,
still not using it, still not using it, which is mad. Big up everybody, of course, inside the damn motherfucking building. Big up Savage. I watched those 2 videos. Yeah, they were kind of mad. I can't even lie. Just got a phone call. I might have to go on the phone for 2 seconds, but yeah, I watched the video. It was actually kind of mad with that girl talking about the Diddy thing. Jerry, I'll send it to you. Big up Steve in the building, of course. Big up Hakeem. Big up Alexander. Honesty in the building. John, man, them, what you telling me, Doug? Hope you are blessed. And big up Steve as well. I invested in slot coin in 2022. That's going up. Hey, you never know, man. You never know. Jerry, man. Oh, Liverpool. Obviously, before the game against Chelsea, obviously, we know we won the game 2-1. People have said what they've said. Chelsea fans have said what they said. Liverpool fans have said what they said. How did you look at it? Because before the game, obviously, the way that people were talking, mostly Chelsea fans more than anything, in terms of how they kind of saw things. And then after the game, like I was on the terrace, and then I was listening into a few of the channels with the way that people were talking about the game. I can't lie, it looked like Chelsea won the game to me, the way that people spoke. But how did you kind of see it, bro?
I've got to kind of echo those sentiments. Like, the narrative around Chelsea all of a sudden is, oh, you know, like they've done really well and they played a good game and they played some good football. And of course, like they play good football. I've seen loads of teams against us in your Premier League team, unless you're really, really dismantling them. They'll have periods where they show a good football. We played Brentford. There was times when Bremo, we show good football. We saw it against Forest. They show good football. I think people are conflating what Liverpool were to what Liverpool are now. So reason why I say that is in years gone past, the game will be so end-to-end with Klopp, right? That at times, Liverpool go and blitz you 5-6, 4-0 in the first 20 minutes, and you don't know what's hit you. And that effect has a lasting impact on like a fan, innit? Like if you're watching the game, you're like, bruv, we're 4-0 down in 30. Oh, bruv, we're getting piped, you know? Even if you now come back and get 2 more goals after that and it's a 4-2, and it's a 4-3, you still feel like, oh my God, we dominated. I was actually speaking to someone about, you know, Liverpool and what they did on the clock when we were watching the game yesterday. My little brother's dad, and he was like, yeah, I remember like we destroyed PSG and that. And I was like, when did we destroy PSG? Bro, we only beat them 3-2 and you did the last minute winner.
Oh, yeah.
But the feeling that you had in the game, right, was, oh my God, like we took the game to them and it looked like raw, we're on top of them, but we were still very susceptible, right? Now with Slot, it's such a much more slower build-up, more measured approach. The fact that we're able to be like, you know what, you guys have the ball out wide, we're going to be very narrow, let you get on the ball out there, let Palmer get on the ball out on the outside of the pockets, but not allowing them on the inside. It gives the impression, you know, it was quite a tight game. Like Chelsea were doing this and they were trying to get this done. And when you deep it, it wasn't that, in my opinion. It looked like Liverpool were really controlling the game. And the one mistake they made was the actual goal, where a great ball from Lavia, but Jackson's made a run from around the inside.
I think it's Caicedo, actually. I think it's actually Caicedo.
Was it Caicedo? Oh, boy, it was Caicedo. It was Caicedo. But when you deep it, when you break it down, you're like, cool. So they had that one. And they had the header. You maybe give the Nkunku chance, but that was just a really good ball from Neto to the back post, and he kind of missed it. Apart from that, Liverpool dealt with everything. Is in, like, in football, Jones making that block or Szoboszlai making that block, it means they didn't have a shot on goal. It means it doesn't count. It means there was someone there to block it. That's what football's about. But when you deep it, Liverpool didn't look to go and play a game of like, we're going to try and dominate you in these areas. Well, no, we're just going to go and try hit you on the counter because we know how you're going to play. We know Chelsea are going to get on the ball. So, all right, allow them to get on the ball. We're just going to stand back, let it go side to side, but it's not going in the middle. And if it goes wide, then we're going to try and get out. And at times, of course, we could have done better and we would discuss it. But I think the way people look at it is completely different. Like, having possession that we've said about before doesn't mean anything if you're not doing anything with it. And a lot of the time, if you look at like what did Palmer really do?
Palmer was shit.
Unless they went out wide. When they went out wide and tried to get balls into the box, we dealt with them. It was a very controlled performance. Like it was like I didn't look at that game ever at one point and think, bro, we're gonna concede, you know. Oh, we're looking struggling. It looked like everyone was on job. Defensively, everyone was
the only time that I thought that was probably once Neto came on the field. That's the only time that I felt that they started to have a bit more, because I just felt like they were trying to get him the ball. Obviously,
he's much more direct than the other.
He's more direct. Yeah, so I guess it's the perception of just like, shit, you got this guy now. You haven't got a Madueke who's gonna, you know, cut in with that. He just wants to run at you, you know. And he was getting into dangerous areas. But yeah, but sorry to even cut you.
But I agree. That's what I'm saying. I even said in the chat to everyone, I was like, raw, like Sancho, Palmer, Madueke.
Yeah,
like I was like, bro, I would have put Neto on, because you need someone that's a bit more direct. And you even saw the chance that Chelsea created, I think, when Sancho just went mad long and obviously just caught Trent out. Not even caught him out like that because he kept up with Sancho. But Trent's not expecting that ball in behind like that. So they play a ball in behind and Sancho runs onto it and it goes like 80 yards right up to the byline. That ball goes straight out and it's like raw. Like, as in they keep it, it's like raw. Like, if you had someone direct, it caused Liverpool a bit more problems, because when you've got a low block, you need someone that's going to run at the defense, because what that enables your team to do, right, is take the game to the team, and all of a sudden a defender's got to make a decision. I've got to step out now, and once they step out, the gaps open up. If you're keeping the ball left to right and moving it and putting balls into the box, it's what Liverpool used to do on the Klopp at times when we're trying to break down a low block, and you can't do anything. Like, you need someone that's going to run at you and be a bit more direct. And yeah, boy, like apart from that, I don't know. I think. I don't know. I looked at Liverpool. Liverpool were like, you look at it, they had 8 shots, 5 on target. To have 12 shots and 2 on target, it doesn't matter. You have to den deep where you're taking the shots from. Where's Cole Palmer taking the shots from? How many times did Gusto just blaze it over the bar? I can count 2 times off the top of my head. First in the left foot, then the left foot on the second half. I just think it's a situation where Liverpool now are just a professional outfit, bruv. Now it's a professional outfit. It's cool. We're just going to see out the game, innit? And I think we control it much better. And it was good to watch. But I don't know how this narrative that I'm hearing about Chelsea, like they won the game. I mean, fair enough, they can have that narrative, but they haven't, innit? They haven't.
Honestly, bro. When I was on when I'm listening to people, I'm seeing. To be fair, big up Don, because I listened to his match reaction, and he said in the end the quality of Liverpool just kind of told. But I was like, yeah, okay, fair enough. But finally, someone said it, because I feel like I feel, and big up Savage for joining us. I want to get your take, of course, on this. But I just feel like that game reminded me of games when we played against Chelsea under Rafa versus Mourinho. You can huff and you can puff. Guess what? Your team ain't even as good as that Chelsea team. So guess what? You're more than likely probably going to lose that game. Yeah, there were some games we won, but I'm talking about the games that we did lose. You're like, yeah, we huffed and puffed. Of course we huffed and puffed, because we got players that will make you huff and puff. But we know that Chelsea are the superior team at that moment in time. We know. Doesn't matter what we want to say. Doesn't matter if we can beat them, ghost goal and all of that. Yeah, but more often than not, they are going to beat us, in these kind of games. Why? Just because they are the better team. So this huffing and puffing and showing that you can hang with the big boys and all of this kind of stuff, I was like, that's admirable. I hear it. I honestly, I respect it, to kind of some degree. But you face Man City, you lost. All I kept hearing was, well, Chelsea, they showed us some things. Okay, fairs. You played Liverpool, you lost. All I'm hearing is, well, they showed us some things. I'm like, you keep showing us things, keep opening up your damn blouse, but you just giving it to everyone for free. I don't really get it. Like, where are we going with this? I don't really understand. Like, if you're just going to keep losing to all the big boys, what's the point? At this point, what is the point? Did you get what I'm trying to say? But we'll get into that. Savage, chat to me, bro. How was the game for you?
I just finished watching it back, innit, because I watched half of it in the gym, so I'm gonna lie, blood. Like, obviously, of the excitement of like winning the game yesterday and doing a watch along, I didn't really get to focus on a lot of things in the game and just talking to the chat and all that. Watch it back, just but kind of. I don't know, I'm glad we won in that, but it was kind of average, innit? Like, it wasn't that great, bro. Like, there wasn't much quality in the game.
You don't think so?
Nah, I think it was meaty, bro. Like, I don't think there's much quality from both teams, to be honest. And the odd moment here or there. I know, yeah, Liverpool seemed to not to really need to get out of second gear. I don't think they chose not to. I just think it was like back off international break. Let's you know what I mean, calm all the huffing and puffing what we tried last time. I think I can't remember what game it was last time, but we were rubbish after the international break. And obviously he changed a few things.
Forest, I actually think it was Forest.
Forest, yeah. So obviously McAllister and that didn't play. So he's not the quickest at any time, and it never mind after the international break. So yeah, I think we were good in parts, but it weren't nothing amazing. Like I'm glad we won though, obviously, innit? And I think Chelsea is the same thing, but I think they had the bits of quality in the midfield, but didn't really do anything. They tried though, you get me? Don't get me wrong. Some of it was down to our defending, why they couldn't penetrate forward and score goals and stuff like that, apart from the one Jackson goal. Thought we took our goals well, the penalty, Jones's goal, good movement. Some individuals played really good, some didn't. And yeah, happy for the 3 point. It's like what I said. You saw what you said the other day as well, though, like about Chelsea and it. And Enz asked me before the game, just as I clicked onto the watch along, he's like, "Are you nervous?" I said, "For what?" Like, it's just Chelsea, innit? Like, the most thing I'm nervous for against Chelsea is a draw, bro. I'm not expecting to lose.
Yeah. Which is what I said before the game. We draw 2-2.
Yeah,
more to Liverpool
Chelsea,
fucking around.
Brighton,
yeah.
Right, and so. Yeah, man, kept some of their players quiet, and obviously, I think Slot employed a few things in the game that was going to cause them problems. I said noticed that from the beginning of the game that Jones was following Palmer around and that. So, yeah, but from that, good man. I'm not moaning though. It's just that I can't. Now I've watched it back and that, like, I probably shouldn't have, because I'm just like, this is. I put it on to do cardio so I could get through my cardio blood, and it made it feel longer. So
kind of bored longer.
Yeah.
Nah, listen, look. I think, like, for me, as I said before, it's just about it wasn't even so much about, you know, us winning the game or whatever. Like I said, it was just more. I was just more annoyed with Chelsea fans were speaking from a place of like they were happy but they lost, and I was like, yeah, that reminds me of like. And you know what, actually, and I was starting to think, I was like, you see, when we finished like top 4 with Klopp, yeah. Like the year Salah came, whatever year that was, finishing 17-18, yeah. You see, we finished top 4 that season. You see, even any game that I can't even remember the season too tough, but any game that we lost against a big team, and I don't know, maybe
that Spurs when we lost 4-1 when Salah scored.
Nah, not even that. Not even that game, because red card and there was context to it. Like I wasn't even mad at that. I'm more thinking like any game we had against like a City or a Chelsea that year, because they were the two teams who were like good that season, right? Yeah. So I'm saying any games that if we did lose, I can't remember off the top of my head. Someone would have to check and tell me. Yeah. Any games we did lose that season, I never looked at it and said like, yeah, you know, as long as we're competing though, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know, as long as I don't know, like I never had that feeling of like being happy to lose, but yeah, at least we showed that we're levels. Like I don't know, like I don't really get that feeling.
For them, I think it is, you know, after finishing on the back of like a 12th finish and then a 6th place finish, where things are going terribly. They were bottom half for majority of last season as well, like in the table, like similar position to where Man United are at the moment. They're looking at it like, okay, we've got a random manager, very similar to Liverpool, that we don't know who the hell he is. Like, I ain't heard of him. Not even last season. I heard like I didn't care about the Championship last season. I didn't care about football last season. So it was like, who's Maresca, innit? I didn't hear he's Pep's. I mean, second cousin once removed, and that was in the club with him. And it's like, cool. He comes into the club. Everyone's a bit iffy. You saw how pre-season was in a couple of games where they got piped. I mean, in the US, and you're looking, yeah, madness. So obviously they're looking at it like, right, it might be another season, but we got to give him a chance. And obviously lost against City, played some decent stuff, but lost against City. Had a couple games where it was like 4-4, they're coming back 6-4 and stuff against Wolves, I think that game was. But all of a sudden they were able to get results. And the fact they feel they've gone to Anfield, and you know, on another day, maybe if they had someone more clinical, if they had a Diego Costa instead of a Jackson, or if they had someone else, they might be in business. If they've had like a Haaland, they'd probably score a couple more goals and the game starts to look a bit different from their perspective. So they're just probably happy, like, look, there's progression in it, because I don't think they're expecting to win the league this season. I don't think they're expected to win anything. But if they can get into the top 4, I think you hear them, they're like, "Rah, like we actually have a chance to get into top 4." And I think a lot of them didn't, innit? I think
it's a fail safe they're using, man. These men are bombs, blood. The absolute scrub of a fan base, bro. Like everyone else started throwing them in, like, oh, they might be in a title race because they won a couple of games. They started feeding off that, getting excited. And then they're just like, we'll just keep running with this, but then as soon as we lose, we'll just say, nah, but we're after top 4 anyway, bro. Like, we're not expected to beat you, man. Man, blood, get over it, man. Like, you talking rubbish. But Liverpool fans would have been the same if Slot lost his first game too. They would have been like, nah, we're not even going for a title. We're going for top 4 anyway, so it don't really matter. Yeah, man, it's just protection for themselves. And Arsenal fans used to do the same thing as well. As soon as they lose, they're unbeaten on the Emirates for like 22 games and that. And still was like 5th, bro. As soon as they lost, nah, we're going for top 4 anyway. This is all we need. Yeah,
and luckily for them as well, look, like no one, like us as rival fans or other just neutrals, no one looked at Chelsea as a viable option even for top 4. Some of us, innit? I know a couple of us. I know some people were like, yeah, they might scrape into the top 4. Like Roms was saying that. Me personally, I was like, yeah, they're going to be outside the top 4 again, innit? Like that's the way I was looking at it. So even from their perspective, it's like, yeah, if we get into the top 4, cool. But if we don't, it's cool because your expectations are set in it. It's like if Liverpool, for me, end up finishing 4th, I'm not going to be like up in arms and furious at the season because I'll be like, yeah, it's his first season, isn't it? I think that's just natural. It depends, obviously, where you set your sights. And obviously,
I think it's all contextual. It's all contextual.
Yes, yeah, that's what it is, man.
Yeah, it's true.
Because obviously, if you say, for example, you're first heading into the last 2 months of the season, you finish 4th, you'd be angry. There's no way that you would look at that and think,
yeah, of course. No, you'd be angry, but
contextual.
Angry,
that's what I mean.
Yeah, exactly. But then when you look back on it and you're like, but it was his first. Like, I mean, it was his. When you start to break it down, you're like, yeah, that was it. That's you got to look at that. Like, how did that happen? But at the same time, were we ever supposed to be there? Like, even like last season, we didn't win the league, innit? But when I look back on last season, I don't think like Liverpool, you bottled it, we ruined the city. Like, I didn't expect us to be anywhere near the title race last season based on what the season was beforehand. Do you know what I mean? So when I look back on it now, I'm like, yeah, it was a good season, innit? Won the Carabao Cup, you did this, we went on a run. Do you know what I mean? Jurgen Klopp's last season, we didn't win anything, but cool. Like, is what it is, innit? So,
all right, lineup, obviously, of the game. He dropped, well, I say dropped, but he rotated. We'll use that word just so that people don't get angry. He rotated a few players out. Obviously, after the international break, you know, with the South Americans, you know, I know their man be traveling pretty far in that to come back. So obviously, Lucho, McAllister, we already kind of knew with his kind of injury just before the international break.
Before the match started, he said he was sick as well.
Oh, he was. Oh, didn't even know.
Yeah,
didn't even know.
So
he was sick. Okay, fairs. Obviously, there's one name that didn't make the squad again. Well, I say again, but isn't making the team as it is. This time didn't make the squad.
Artemelo,
yeah,
Melo.
Bro, I, honestly, you might as well call him Jay Spearing at this point because I don't understand how. Like, I don't know what they even. I actually don't know why didn't Chiesa make the squad? Like, was he just injured? Is he injured? Like, is he sick?
Bro,
like,
I have no idea. This is smells like sports washing to me, blood.
Bro, maybe, bro. I'm honestly like and it's issued it the other day, the group chat. Yeah, sooner or later that 12 million starts looking like a bump because now you're just like, well, bro, this guy's not actually even playing.
Bro, it's pissing me off already, bro. If I don't see him against Leipzig, bro, I've had enough, bro, already because that's my guy, man. But we got swindled, bro. We got hoodwinked. We got Bobby Dazzled, blood. Like they give us the woolly pullover, blood. Like what the fuck's going on, bro? Yeah, you know what happened, bro? They knew that Pogba was on the way back at it. They said we need to start paying him his wages again. The band's up, so need to sell somebody, blood.
Need to sell somebody.
Do you know what it is? Though? I feel like it's one of those ones where, you know, like we said at the time, but it's opportunistic, isn't it? Like if it don't work, Liverpool will still probably make 15. Like probably make a little 3 million profit on that breader, innit? Like that's what it will be because he's been at Liverpool. They'll sell him to someone like a Bournemouth. They might sell him for like 20 million if it don't work out. And it is what it is. I think obviously he just didn't have a proper pre-season, I assume.
Yeah,
I'd assume, obviously, I'm not sure.
He didn't.
Yeah,
And
I just think he didn't have one.
You didn't have one?
No,
he didn't have one. He didn't know.
Oh, so was you part of that cohort that got banned from the training ground then? That.
Yeah, he just had to train with the reserve team instead. So he didn't get to play no preseason games, no nothing.
He had no preseason, and he's just like, yeah, you know, like you're trying to catch up and you're doing this and he's working and then you're getting a niggle and this and that. And that's what it is, because look, there's no reason why, and the way I think Slot thinks, right, that you wouldn't have a second forward on there. When you look at that, or third forward, right? Because, you know, obviously, Jota's come off, you got Nunes, you got Diaz. But then that's it, innit? Like, it looked from an attacking standpoint, there was nothing else we could have done. Like,
especially, I don't need Morton in there. I don't need him there. Like, he doesn't seem like a player I need.
When
I've already got Endo and McAllister.
You don't need Tsimikas there, or like, do you know what I mean? It's like one of them ones. If you got Gomez,
Oh yeah, if you got Gomez, yeah.
You got Gomez, Kwanzaa. You got Gomez, Kwanzaa, Tsimikas. Like Gomez can play either side, innit? So why is Tsimikas there? Morton maybe because of DM, but you got McAllister there.
In fact, now I come to think of it, I would rather have Tsimikas over Morton because, like I said, the DM, Endo, midfield, McAllister. So Morton can't play anywhere else where I need you in that position.
I wouldn't be surprised.
Gomez, at least you can say, if I needed to take off my left back and right back, I have a left back and right back on the bench.
They'll probably go out on loan in January, bro, because they told him to stay back for no fucking reason.
I think it's more for training, bro. You're in training when you do your 11s versus 11s, bro. You need a DM on the other opponent. Like, it just is what it is. Like,
Now, but jokes aside, Jerry's right. Like, no preseason. I think with Chiesa, the likelihood is that he's not injured, innit? He just feels a little thing, and they're like, listen, there's no point bringing you back for it to happen again. We don't need you right now, so just get sorted completely, innit? Will it work? Probably not, because it happens loads of times when people try and hold people back a bit longer and like, nah, let's fix it. That happened with Thiago, innit? It's like, oh, forget it. Don't bring you back. Go and have your surgery for all them issues and that. Came back against Arsenal. 13 minutes. End of his career, blood. So, yeah, me. Hopefully it's not the case, because I actually like him as a player, bro. I'm probably being a bit selfish just because I like him. I don't care. It's not for the club that I care about. It's for me, blood.
I like Chiesa.
I think even having a Chiesa, I think gives you a different dynamic because it's a bit more. That Salah's he's not as direct as he used to be, in it. Like you see it. He's more like, I'm going to use my body, my low center of gravity to spin you, and then I'm going to get at you. Chiesa will be much more direct. I think it would have been interesting to go and see if you had a Chiesa there, how the game would have panned out if you had that option on the bench, and then when someone's getting tired, obviously you got Diaz dynamic, but then you go and say, you know what? I mean, Salah was doing well, to be fair, but you put someone else on that's a bit more, do you know what I mean?
Yeah, stretch the game a bit more.
Yeah, it'd have been interesting to see how that game operated. But no, it's annoying. I want to see him, but...
Yeah, same. It's disrespectful, man.
Big up Jones, by the way, first and foremost, on having the new baby. I know what it's like, you know what I mean, a young child and that. I know
mad excited and that's dope stuff.
Yeah, I mean, he hasn't had a child before, so... I think I understand why he's excited. You just let him get into like a month in, he won't be that excited. But
let your son live, bro. Why are you firing shots at your son, bro? Let him live, bro.
He's really turning into a roadman, bro. I'm seeing there, New Balances, cargos, hoodie on, posted on the block.
Yeah, I saw that picture.
I'm posted on the block like a low life, bro. Come on, what do you mean? Nah, listen, man. Honestly, like, big up to him, because it must be dope though. In this whole week, first week, had a baby, then you play on the weekend and you score the winner on the weekend, bro. You must be like, you're on cloud 9. You get what I'm trying to say? So, and he had a very, very good game, man. I'll go to you, Jay, first. I know that's your guy. In fact, I know that's both of you lot's guy. And obviously, you've seen the people. You've seen both sides of it, right? And I want to know what you lot's opinion is. Obviously, talk about his game, no problem. I've got no issues with that. But in terms of the way that people are seemingly, this is the first game that we probably say this season. Obviously, we know he's been injured and stuff, but this is the best game he's had this season by far. Did you get what I'm trying to say? But the way that people are now talking as if like this is his 10th game in a row where, you know, he's just been on form. How do you guys kind of see it with Jones? Like, is it one of those where let's just, you know, get him to continue? Is it you want to see him in a starting lineup more? Do you think he deserves to be in a starting lineup? Like, how do you guys kind of see it? Like, I think with Jones.
I think with me, I already said it in it. I think before Slot coming in, I think Slot has earmarked him as someone he wants in his midfield. Like in an ideal situation, I think if everyone's on form, I think you saw him in the midfield, and I think you could see that in pre-season. I think you could see the way he was talking about the fact that Liverpool press were all around him all the time. Liverpool sharing all the clips of Curtis Jones doing this in the midfield and in training and stuff. Jones then talking about how happy he was in terms of like the style of play, it suits him a bit more. Obviously, you have dips, and obviously you're in pre-season, so you have a little, a couple games where you can be off. You saw it with Chelsea themselves, isn't it? And they're doing all right now. And obviously he gets the injury, and then since then Liverpool are on form, so it's difficult to go and break in. But I think Slot's waiting for the opportunity to go and play a player like that, because I think stylistically it's what he looks at and what he likes. And I think Gravenberch is another one as well, where stylistically it's what he likes. It's about what they can do on the ball, how they enable Liverpool to keep the ball, how they're able to beat a press, and you can see that. I would want to go and see him in, but that's just my bias, innit? I think when you go and look at Curtis Jones as a thing, he's got to, like, do you know what I mean? Put it this way: if Szoboszlai was performing, I don't think no one would be having this discussion. Maybe I think they'll be like, yeah, he's knocking on the door. But I think the argument to say he's got to go and start in midfield or he's got to go is based off the fact that he's probably had a better performance than Szoboszlai has had. That one performance is better than any Szoboszlai performance we've seen in the last 8 months, maybe, by the beginning of last season.
You think so? In the last 8 months, you think that's
true, man?
And now, if we're being honest in terms of the impact he done in both boxes, he affected both penalty goals. Like if both penalties counted, he was involved in both. He got the goal, also went and made the block on Palmer, locked up Palmer defensively. That was like a box to box midfielder's performance. He locked up their number 10 and also got on the assist. Like, got on the score sheet and obviously assisted technically with the penalty. So it's, yeah, for me, I think if Szoboszlai was performing, then, and if people are content with his performances, maybe that discussion is not there. And it's like, oh, great, we can have him as an option. With that Jones performance, though, with it being better than what Szoboszlai's done, especially like undoubtedly this season, it means that he's probably he's going to start the next game. That's the way football is, isn't it? Like, and it will be interesting to see whether it's Szoboszlai that stays on the pitch or whether it's McAllister that comes in for Szoboszlai. And I think that would be it. You know what? That is actually, because we're all saying Szoboszlai, like, oh yeah, Jones is going to take Szoboszlai's spot. Sorry, I would laugh if it's McAllister's spot that he's actually looking at and said, no, I actually want. I don't know, by the way. I'm just literally guessing. It could be Szoboszlai after this whole time, but it would be hilarious if it turns out to be McAllister after this whole time, because then people's perceptions of the whole thing will start to change immediately of what they think about the team. I promise you, all of a sudden now, yeah, I've always said McAllister hasn't really been that good this season. What do you mean, bro? Like, you guys have been telling me that he's been, you know what I mean? He's been solid in that. Like, so, you know, it is what it is. Big up, Harris. Love for joining in today. Chat to us, man. Obviously about, you know, Jones's performance, you know, in the game. Obviously, we're just rapping about, you know, in terms of like the team and, you know, the perception from Chelsea fans and stuff like that, which, by the way, they're allowed to have. But how did you kind of see the game? And obviously, you know, just really, how did you see Jones's performance?
So going into the game, when I saw the lineup, I mentioned in the group chat about what's his name, Gusto and James. And I knew what was going to happen. I thought James would be further forwards, but he was actually playing as a correct centre back in a 3. And then Gusto was inverting. So I was thinking, like, in terms of how we are off the ball with the 4-2-4, I was thinking that could be an issue. And I think at times it was, because I saw Jota and Szoboszlai trying to cut the passing lanes off. And there was times where Cole will toss in and James were just passing sideways to each other. But there was a few times where they were able to thread the ball into the feet of Caicedo and Lavia and able to drive forward. And I wasn't liking that, but at the same time, nothing really happened. It either went wide and then went back, or it went to Sancho. Sancho tried to go and play Gusto, who was on the underlap, but nothing really happened. But I just didn't like the build up to those positions. I thought we could have done a bit better to try and cut that off, but we won the game in the end, so I'm not too phased about that. But I think we did control the game in our way. Yes, we didn't have much of the ball, as the stats say, but we've seen this before where teams have had the ball, but they're not doing anything with it because of our defensive structure. So it's kind of frustrating the other team. Yes, they do have the ball, but they're not doing anything with it. So that that benefits us. And Jones's performance, I think he played really well. He was my man of the match. So as Jerry was saying, in both boxes, defensively, that's a proper box-to-box performance, as what Jerry said earlier. And yeah, I was really impressed with him. And it's not the first time he's done well against Parma. Last season at Anfield 4-1. I rewatched that game and he did very well against Parma there as well. So it's not the first time I've seen him do well against Parma. So yeah, I'm pleased with the performance. Now we move on to Leipzig away, then Arsenal.
Yeah,
Savage, man.
Yeah, that question you asked, man, I think the part what Jerry said at the beginning about he was giving the context to Jones and, you know, missing the games and then blah, blah. That's my guy in it, but it's what Jerry explained is the same thing what's been Jones' career so far. So when you said, is it go over the top and remove this guy or leave him in there and all that, I was ready to play him as soon as he was fit. And before he was injured, I wanted him to play. And when the season started, I wanted him to start. So that doesn't change for me because I just think he's better than the other done in there. But obviously, football don't work like that. It is based on performances, which I'm happy with. If one of them's playing better than Curtis, then hold bench on it. But I think without crashing on people, they're not. So I thought he was decent against Palace. I thought he was really good against West Ham actually. And then obviously he was good now as well. I do think like even with like I see comments in the chat, not the chat just now, but everywhere. I'm not trying to hear it from everyone, bro, because man didn't have the same thing last week for Jones, bro. So you're telling me just a 90-minute game change your whole perception of him? Like, nah. I see man like I'll be trying to have a conversation, and man will just jump in my stream talking about get rid of rubbish Jones, and I'm like, okay, that can't change after just yesterday's game, bro. Like it wasn't.
But that's my point. That was why I asked. Like,
it wasn't some world-class performance where it's like this is the game changer, and even people that I respect to see saying stuff like that, and I'm just like, bro, you weren't on that the other day, blood. That's not what you was on at all, bro.
That's exactly it. Like even in the chat, I've been talking about Jones, talking about why I think he should play. People like raw, like nah, I don't rate him. I don't do this. I don't do that. And all of a sudden, like even like there's that brother LFC Laurie on Twitter. And he's like, if you think Jones is good, then you need your eyes checked and stuff. And then the tweet he done after the game was, the midfield going forward has to be McAllister, Jones, and Gravenberg.
Yeah, nothing else is
acceptable.
It's horrible.
What?
I can't remember what stream G done not long ago. It was last week or a couple of days ago, and people just come in the chat. I can't remember it was Jones and somebody, and they said they're just not good enough for Liverpool. Get rid of them. Yeah, I was like, right, okay, we're not even talking about particular Jones' performance here. You just decided to wake up and have a problem with Jones. That's fine, bro. I think he's gonna have to be consistent. That's always been his problem. And yes, he's always had context to it. 100%. Anytime I've seen him in a role consistently without being injured, he's not having rubbish performances. You know what I mean? Some are gonna drop to 7 out of 10s. But they're never rubbish. But everything else is injuries.
That's what it is about Jones. That's exactly it. Is that the consistency we're talking about? Isn't that consistency in terms of his performances?
No,
it's life, isn't it? In terms of being on the pitch, which is a different argument altogether. Like if someone was like, "Oh, but he's never available. We need to get someone that's available." That's a fair argument. I used to say that. But if you're telling me, "Oh, yeah, you think this player's better in midfield than this," I'm like, I don't know what we're seeing. Yeah, man.
And I think
that's always been
said that he was earmarked by a slot before he came in. I agree. As soon as I saw him in all them press conferences and all that, I said this ain't coincidence. But the reason why he looks so excited is because when obviously Slot's come in and had conversations with each player and that, bro, he's obviously gassed of whatever Slot said to him, bro. You know what I mean? You know, man, I'm going to make you my main guy in this position because I want you. I know what you.
But okay, to play devil's advocate, just to play devil's advocate. Don't you think anyway? Remember, when Slot come in, there was no one there. He was the senior player. So the reality is, the type of player Jones is anyway, he wants to play that kind of football. So there's obviously that one plus side. Secondly, you're the only senior player here. We've got no one here. Like there's not one player.
No, you're right, but I didn't see like Shimikas and Harvey and that have the same kind of vim about them.
But think about the two like he wouldn't have had that same thing because both of those players are going to be seen more as squad players than Jones. Jones is higher in the pecking order than both of them.
But you say that, but about last season, the season before,
Harvey's way more
Harvey's played way more minutes. Harvey was the second option for Klopp.
But last season, but think about it, if we just base it off of just last season, because I don't feel like you're gonna base it off like 3 years ago. Like if last season it was Harvey didn't get more minutes than Jones last season.
Yes, he did. Yes, he did.
He got more minutes.
Yeah,
way more.
Jones after the
I thought Jones played like most of the games.
Now once
Harvey was more fit.
Spurs, once he got injured once he got sent off against Spurs, then when he came back he got injured. And then they permanently played Szoboszlai and that over the rest of that midfield. And then Harvey just got coming off the bench and affecting games. But then all the minutes off the bench ended up adding up to a bit more than Jones got.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
But did Harvey start more games than Jones last season?
Did he start more games?
I think he might have even started more games, you know.
Let me check. Because I thought
at the start of the season it was definitely Jones.
Yeah, Jones. Yeah, in my head, Jones started the season.
No, he did, but that start of the season's not as long as you think. Because once he got sent off against Spurs, then he got injured. So remember, he had a 3-match ban when he got sent off against Spurs. So then he got injured, and then by the time he come back, the team was like, "We're on a title race, but we're just keeping the same team." That was it. Then he made like these mad like little appearances, cameos, and that. But
and then the option again, and then Harvey Elliott was always the option, and
always the option.
And what I would say is that with Harvey Elliott, even in seasons gone past, right? Harvey Elliott was the one that started seasons. Like he started the season. Obviously, I don't remember last season if he started the game, but I know the season before he definitely started the game.
Even before he got an injury, he started to start with Hendo, and then he got injured, and it was over.
So I think it's not like that. And then what I would say to what you're saying, G, which is a fair point as well, is Slot could have easily just been like, you know what, I don't see you in my future like that. You're going to be a rotational piece for me. Like it could have easily been like, yeah, you know what, now you're going to get minutes. Like with Gomez, isn't it? Gomez is the most senior out of all of them there. Gomez didn't get no treatment like that. It was Kwanzaa and Vandenberg was playing more than him. You know, like that. Like, so it was one of those ones where I think.
Okay, Jones missed 11 games last season due to an injury or suspension. Yeah. If he had got those 11 games, he actually would have played the same amount of games as Harvey, to be fair.
Yeah, and he would have played
34 games. So fair. Yeah. Okay, fair. Okay, you know what? You're right.
Well, you know, like Harvey gives you the more lasting memory of affecting games because when he come off the bench,
I fully remember him towards the back end. 100%.
I think he even scored like even his goals last season were screamers and they were like winners and that. Yeah. So naturally, even if you're a manager from, I mean, that mid-season, he probably didn't know he was going to leave final to come to Liverpool, innit? But when you go and check on Liverpool, you're going to see, like, okay, this is what's going on over there. But this Harvey guy's doing a certain thing. And then remember Harvey in pre-season as well. He was better than Jones in pre-season.
Okay, so that's where I agree. Is that's where I was just looking at it. By the way, I just said there was everything, but I just felt like at the time it would have made more sense to me that you would have had Jones as he's the elder player, he's the eldest player, he's the oldest player there who you're going to look at in terms of you may be a first teamer outside of like a Tsimikas or an Elliott, because obviously Elliott's a bit younger and stuff like that. You got Tyler Morton. I think Kwanzaa obviously didn't go to England. We had some other players that we. I was just thinking,
had Endo there though.
Endo, but remember, this was just, I think we all knew from the jump, but Endo can't play this kind of football. We needed to see it. To be fair, we needed to see it to really.
That was my point, innit? That's my point. The fact that Slot could have easily come in, especially when he's earmarking trying to get Zubimendi and all these guys, right? To be like, you know what? I don't see a place for you now, and you're gonna have to do the Endo whole bench. And if that was the case, I think we would have seen much more links with Jones going somewhere, and there was no talk of that at all. There was no talk about, like, remember the discussion even was, like, is Gravenberch even going to get in? Like, we might have to sell him. There was no discussion around Jones at all. And I think the fact that he's in the team, I think the fact that he comes into a game like that, where, look, Slot could have easily gone and said, you know, we're going to go and play McAllister again. Like, I just don't trust him. I'm not going to. But he decided to go and play him. Suggests to me that he trusts him enough to go and do that and to do the job what he done on Cole Palmer. I think stylistically, it's what he likes, isn't it? I'm not saying he's the best of the best, but in terms of what stylistically he fits, and I think Slot looked at it and was like, yeah, I like that. The ability to go and, of course, there's things he can improve. We're working at, but I like that. I like that. I like that.
All right, first. One more player that I wanted to take a look at quick before we get on to our player ratings. And
before we move on as well with Curtis Jones, I just wanted to say as well, I find it very funny, you know, stylistically. Yeah, maybe I'm gonna get cooked for it. I don't know what you guys think. If you had to like put a mask on Cole Palmer and put a mask on Curtis Jones, they look so similar in the way they play. But it looks like one player is like, yeah, you can attack and you could be the maverick in your team and the main guy, and another one on the clock was just told, yeah, just go into the 8, run around, be a defensive job. And I think it's so funny the way even like he got away from Palmer, like and got away from Caicedo there. I've seen Cole Palmer do that enough times.
Yeah, you're not completely wrong, to be honest, bro. I always said that. I'm probably wrong on this one, but when I look at because I always said that Jones seems to fit Man City more than Liverpool the way he plays.
Yep.
And he reminds me a bit like how they use Grealish on it. So man would like, you see how people was talking about Jones is on the ball for too long and that. Bro, that's what Grealish does, bro. Bit more penetrative with his dribbling and that, bro. You get me? But
Grealish is better with his decision making, though.
No. I'm just saying.
But they are similar.
I know Grealish is, and remember, Grealish has already had a career before. True. And they both had the similar thing. Like Grealish doesn't play exactly the same way he did at Villa, but the way Jones used to play is how Grealish used to play at Villa. And then changed a little bit.
And the thing is, what I find funny as well was that you see, like even like in the game yesterday with Cole Palmer, if Jones played like Cole Palmer did yesterday, he'd be getting cooked. He'd be getting cooked because decision making for Cole Palmer weren't great.
Yeah, Cole Palmer was shit. He was shit.
He was taking loads of touches on like all this stuff that we talk about Jones, right? And I'm not saying he's a bad player, by the way.
Yeah.
But I'm saying if it was Jones, these are what people would say. He's taking too many touches on the ball. He's releasing the ball too late. He's making the wrong decision. He's shooting when he should pass. He's passing when he should shoot. Like
even the commentators were saying that about him releasing the ball.
Yeah,
but he still played well. Yeah,
and on top of that, what I found interesting in regards to the Cole Palmer situation is Liverpool had a massive gap in a pocket where Jones, if he was that guy for me, he would have tried to pick up the ball in those areas. He was on the outside of the block the whole time because he knew.
Because he doesn't want to engage. He's not that type of. I've never looked at Palmer's never played in a way that he will try and engage all of that. Hence why against certain teams you'll see that he ain't gonna get too much joy in these kind of games. And as you said, he was outside of the block more often than not. But what annoyed me more about Palmer, let me take that back. What annoyed me more about Chelsea fans is perception on Palmer once the game had finished was just more like, this is the guy, the way that you've spoken about him, that kind of performance that he put in, I'm like, the reality is I kind of see this performance quite a lot. The difference you get in these kind of games with other teams is that they afford him the time and space. So you see the shot that he did have, and I can't remember, was it Jones blocked it or was it Bozalai? Whoever blocked it. In other games, there isn't someone there to block it. So he gets that shot off and he scores that goal. All of a sudden now, bro, you scored a goal. You know, your impetus is up. Like, you know, things just start to. We know how it works in football. It's all about that momentum, right? Especially with the flow of games. He gets that quite a lot, where it's like teams afford. I don't know why, but they afford him the space. Maybe the way that Chelsea set up, they somehow do it so that he gets the space. Whatever it is, he's the one that I'm always like, oh, but I don't feel like he's playing well. Like I don't look at him and think, oh my goodness.
I don't know, because
I'm not going to diss him though. I think he's good. I
feel like he does, because the difference is it's not necessarily like because what happened, in my opinion, when Liverpool were defending, you had the defense that was mad narrow, right? Just allowing the space out wide. You had Gakpo that was tucking in, almost becoming a midfielder, leaving the space out wide. So Cole Palmer couldn't get in the pockets. I think where Cole Palmer's dangerous is, you see, if we went like Gakpo went to go and press the fullback and Madueke went and tried to get at Robertson, that area there is what will be mad for him to operate in. And I think if you give him that space, is that in that right-hand side channel, I think he's dangerous in there. Problem is, Liverpool didn't enable. Liverpool were like, and I think this is what I was trying to explain on the chat the other day, was Liverpool, like yesterday, is Liverpool are setting up narrow on purpose. They are purposely saying, get the ball out to Madueke and stuff, because in the air, Virgil van Dijk and Konate should be able to go and win the ball. We're compact enough that if there's any cutback on the edge of the box, we're going to be there to block it. Hence why you go and look at the Szoboszlai block, the Trent block, and even like Gravenberch making a challenge on Cole Palmer as well when he was trying to get the ball. So he couldn't stay in that area. He had to almost come out of that area and get the ball in like the number 6 position and stuff. But that's fine. We don't mind you having the ball there. You can have the ball there. You're not going to affect us, and you're not going to come like try penetrate us centrally. Whereas in the wide areas, that's where, Liverpool just played it at risk and said, cool, we're going to allow them to have that, to try to stop the crosses. But if they do come in, we're going to win that. And then,
yeah, I think there was one little moment, to be honest. I think Virgil got on to Jones for it, where I think Madueke had the ball and then he played it inside to, what's his name, Palmer. And then Virgil had to come charging out to try and block his shot. And then after, I think it was Neville was saying, "Oh, Virgil's having a go at Jones for not staying with Palmer." So I feel like we really did nullify him in terms of if Jones was more tight to Palmer, that little opportunity doesn't happen. But I think that was the only time in the game where we did offer him that.
He's man marking him,
space.
He's man marking him from the start of the game.
Yeah, that space and respect, because I've seen that those Palmer chances before where he's picked up the ball, he's taken a touch, he's either faked it or he's just gone and shot. I've seen that many times.
What I will say though is that, to be fair, like you obviously see here the way that we're kind of set up here, that 4-2-4, right? As Jerry talking about, we played with that risk of put the ball out wide. What I will say though is that Caicedo for me was excellent yesterday. Lavia was in that first half. I was so baffled when they took him out. I was like, oh, thank God they took him off, because he was getting a hold of that midfield.
Yeah,
intercepting, making the right passes, key pass. Like he was playing really, really. And I was thinking,
there was a skill he did on Szoboszlai where Szoboszlai sent the shots. Yeah.
I said, if them man were to stay on, which made no sense why he took him off after 5 minutes. You're better off that. 5 minutes doesn't make sense to me ever.
I think the problem.
Come out from injury. That's fine.
Yeah.
No. But so 5 minutes after half time, for me, there is no reason I can think of outside of a person being injured into 5 minutes that you'd say, yeah, after 5 minutes, I'm just going to take it. Like, what would you have seen after 5 minutes?
It's the change in the swing of the game, though, because.
In 5 minutes,
he might have given Lavia an instruction to do certain things, and it still weren't happening. So you see, like here's an example, right? The problem Liverpool are having is if you go and look at
overloading in the middle,
not the player that's out wide, because that's Sancho, right? So he's touchline, the guy that's circled in. So you've got the four in midfield that are circled. The one that's in the top right, that's Gusto that's come inside. Gravenberch is a problem. Gravenberch is a problem. Do I cut off the passing lane into him, right? And stop that, which means that Lavia, I can't get tight to Lavia, and he can then turn and run at us, right? Or do I go and press up on Lavia, but it means that then Trent's got a decision where he's looking, and I think it's where he had the chance where he headed it out, and he even went into the camera, was like the camera panned to him. He's like, "Brother, I got two because Malo Gusto's come inside, and the ball's gone into Sancho. If Trent tries to engage Malo Gusto there and try to stop him getting on the ball goes out to Sancho, and then Sancho's free to run. If he stays with Sancho, he gives Malo Gusto a lot of space. And I don't think Liverpool expected, because Chelsea don't really do it, I don't think expected Malo Gusto to invert like that. I think they expected him to be out wide. Hence why there was an adjustment period in that where Chelsea were getting on the ball. And I think after in the second half, you saw how Gakpo became really narrow and stopped Cole Palmer getting on the ball. So he just dropped in and tucked in, was like, I'm not going to engage Palmer. We allow Tosin and Denman to have the ball, but the ball's not going to get into Cole Palmer's feet. It can only go in behind. And if it does that, and if it does get there, Jones has got time to go and get out there because the ball's in the air. It's not getting zipped across the box. And I think Liverpool were like, you know what? We're going to try and make Nunes and Jota, or Nunes and Szoboszlai, whoever, Szoboszlai and Jota, Szoboszlai and Nunes. We're going to try to stop those passes coming into Lavia and Caicedo. But if they do, they can have the ball, and not Cole Palmer, not Sancho, not Noni Madueke, because when you break it down, it was a good pass from Caicedo for the goal, 100%. But that's like a defensive mishap where they haven't really read it. Konate's gone to like intercept the ball, the ball's gone in between them, and Virgil's just a full moment from Virgil. If you want Lavia and Caicedo on the ball, from in an attacking area, because they're not going to be as effective as Sancho or Palmer in that situation. So you got to kind of say, you know what, let them have the ball. And I think Chelsea even started to realize that. And I think that's why later on down the game, you started seeing James whipping in crosses into the box and stuff, because they realized, even though Caicedo and Lavia are getting on the ball and they're looking really cute in those pockets and are turning players, they weren't really affecting the game like that. It wasn't like Goodwin getting the ball and he's spread and he's penetrating, making penetrative passes all the time. There was one pass that was made from Caicedo. That was the one pass. Yeah. Any other pass from that, Liverpool mopped up. Every other pass was going out wide. And that's fine. That's where Liverpool want the danger, because it's not in the central areas. Because Lavia or Caicedo didn't have the ability to say, you know what, I'm going to go and make those runs in behind Jackson. I'm going to try and penetrate that way, the same way what Jones was doing. And I think that's more so what it was, is that you had to take off one. Caicedo was doing really well, but you had to take off one to be a bit more forward thinking, to try break the lines. Because otherwise, that's a flat midfield. That flat midfield never helps anyone at all. You need someone that's a bit higher. In my opinion.
Yeah, this match, in terms of the circumstances, reminded me of the Euros, Netherlands versus England, where like the Netherlands, we sat back and played like a mid/low block at times.
When England mashed them up,
but we lost 2-1, and then there was times where the double pivot of the Netherlands, they were kind of standing off. I think it was, who was it? Foden and Mainu. And they were in the pockets of spaces, and we just forced the ball out wide. But it's just in those central areas, we wasn't tight enough. And this is what Liverpool was able to do, get tight enough with their midfield runners. And it's like, these are the finest of margins in the game, because there was times in that game, in the Netherlands game, where they was able to get chances that Foden had one clear off the line. So this way, in terms of playing, is very hard to break down. Yeah, when you're just forcing the ball out wide, and then you're not allowing anything to come in centrally. So I think it's interesting, because I don't think we won't see this again. I think we definitely will see this kind of style of play again throughout the season against the bigger teams. Probably against your cities, potentially Arsenal. I'm not expecting it next weekend, because they have a few injuries, but I wouldn't be surprised if I didn't see this game plan again.
Just on what you're saying, by the way, I actually agree. The only thing I don't like about the way Liverpool are at the moment, which is weird because we don't concede that many goals, right? But we concede opportunities more than goals. That's what when I say opportunities,
yes,
I'm not saying you're not going to see it, right? Well, technically, you might see it in terms of stats, in terms of shots, but that's not really what I'm actually looking at. When you watch the game, there are opportunities for teams to always seemingly cut through us or whatever. My issue with this isn't even the way that we're set up. That's fine. Do all of that. If you want to concede possession in whatever area, that's fine. Obviously, you guys know what you're doing. Liverpool are so fucking passive in these moments. It pisses me off. Like, I don't understand why it's not aggressive, because the reality is it's all like every single time. Now, it's fine to do that on the odd occasion, not a problem. The problem you're going to have, and I get it, risk versus reward. The problem is that little thing is not a sustainable thing to have for duration of a season.
That's not
gonna. It's not, bro. To me anyway, the way I always see that is that if you continue to keep doing so, you're already at this stage where teams are already starting to cut you open. In more or less every single game, you've had these periods where, because of the way you keep doing that, teams are starting to find their opportunities. No problem, cool. We haven't conceded. We're doing well in terms of not conceding a goal. I can deal with that. Eventually, in my opinion, what I think is going to happen is you keep doing that, teams will start to get better at working out, okay, you know what? Now they start becoming a lot better in those phases of actions, and they'll just start to work on, let's just work on that as opposed to working on Liverpool's threat in itself, because we can, whatever, if they score their Liverpool.
What I would say is though, Bar City, that will be an interesting game to go and see what happens.
Yeah.
Teams are not good enough in possession. And what I mean by that is,
but Joe, they don't have to be. That's the point.
But you do, because what happens there, right, is I remember there was the three at the back and they're keeping the ball, and Liverpool are just doing this, moving left to right. We're not going to engage you. You try break us down. How many times, right? When you go and look at Liverpool's amount of times they were able to break on Chelsea, right? Break on Chelsea where Liverpool had a chance. You had the chance where Jota, where as soon as we won the ball, bang, Jota's in behind and Tosin fouls him. You have the time when Tosin gives the ball away early in the first half, where Liverpool are just sitting back. He tries to pop the ball into Caicedo, bang, we win it, and we're on top of that. The only place where I kind of agree with what you're saying, right, and it only goes to one player in the game for me, which is Robertson, was when the ball's getting out to Madueke, the distances were a bit off. They were a bit off where he was able to go and touch. There was no engagement. Then he just cuts back in and plays Palmer, I think, where Jones went and made the block. Apart from that, if you look at how Trent went and defended, it makes it easier because these aren't opportunities. You're playing against top-level teams that are going to be able to break on you. Like with Brentford, like you saw it against Bournemouth. Bournemouth broke on Arsenal. And Arsenal, people could call them the best defensive team. We saw it against City yesterday as well, against Wolves, where Wolves were able to go and break on them, especially if they can do it at pace because they're all teams have got quality. But Liverpool aren't conceding. These opportunities aren't like opportunities at raw 1v1.
But the keepers,
the one with Jackson where it's like that. Those opportunities when Caicedo gets the ball and turns and starts to run at the defense, and Liverpool straight in get a narrow up, and and all of a sudden Caicedo goes, "Oh man, I've got to go and play it out wide." That's the ideal situation for Liverpool, because Liverpool, the easiest thing to do, as other people talk about as well, is to coach defense. To coach defense is the easiest thing to do. That Gegen press that we're used to being mad aggressive, that's what's not sustainable. This you can be sustainable because you can be really, really poor, and you can have less shots like we did today, like yesterday. You can have less possession, you can have less passes completed, and still win the game and look comfortable in possession and comfortable in the game. And I think Real Madrid are a great example of that, because in games where against Real Madrid under Klopp, where we're Gegen pressing, we had them on the back foot, it looked like we were the better team, and all of a sudden they just went and said, you know what? Boom, 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 go. We're going to sit back. We're going to defend. We're going to just stay in our shape. We're going to be really organized. Like Jones is going to stay here, and him being in that distance between Palmer is like, James looks at it and is like, bro, I can't even play it to Palmer there. Even though Palmer's having to ask for the ball and come really, really deep to get the ball, because he knows, oh, James ain't going to pass it to me because Jones is near me. All of a sudden, Gravenberch is there, and that pass goes into Caicedo, but it don't go into Lavia, because all of a sudden he's like, brother, I might be able to find him, but if that touch ain't on point, Gravenberch is going to eat him up. And I think we need to just get used to the fact that you're going to concede chances, but it's the types of chances that you're creating. And those opportunities, they're not really opportunities, because we said it at the beginning of the game. Chelsea didn't do jack. Apart from, I remember I told you, the Nkunku back post where it's like, oh, that could have been a chance. You had Jackson's goal, and of course the header.
Yeah, there are two shots on target.
Yeah,
that's why I say this is where I always disagree with, like, what you're saying. In fact, sorry,
I know what you're on about.
What you're saying, is I'm not saying, no, of course. Like, okay, so just I'm trying to think of the words. So
no, G, the thing is,
Jerry's saying,
I actually agree with you. I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah, like, do you get what I mean? It's like, I'm not saying, forget
you're not about the target
shot
thing. You're not about the
that's not. I don't care about that. We're not. That's not going to happen anyway. Just because you'll get to a certain point of that kind of opportunity. We've got, like, the quality that we've got is so far ahead. Like, where you're just not going to get that shot off target. Forget the stat of the shot on target or whatever. Forget even the stat of the shot. Forget all of that. That's never where I'm even looking. I'm literally talking about during the actual context of the game. Prime example, when Neto came on, I don't think Neto would technically have had actually any shot. Neto was fucking dangerous. Again, it's that opportunity that he's getting in and around the box to be able to create something where you're like,
step over, brother, and just dip through everyone.
And it just did all of that. Now, I'm not, obviously that didn't equate to a shot, that didn't equate to whatever, because the move ended up breaking down later on after he's released the ball. But prior to that, that opportunity for him to actually get into that position, that's where I've seen a lot happen to Liverpool in more or less, not every game. I can't count every single game, but I'm going to say majority of Liverpool's games I've watched this season, that has happened so much. Where I'm just crazy, like,
because I think yesterday's probably less so, but you are right, it does happen.
Yeah. Yesterday, exactly. It's so mad. Yeah, yesterday less so, but it happens so much.
Not, where I'm like, it's not so much. We can't account for what the person does when they get the ball in it. So if they don't have the shot on target, the geezer was just shit that day, but.
Yeah.
We saw it in a few games. I saw it at the end of the AC Milan game. I saw it in the Man U game. I saw it in the thingy game as well. the Wolves one, bro. You are right, bro. And I guess it's like trying to get them passive moments out, so that when you get to the better teams, because obviously they're more likely to receive the ball in that spot and be clinical with it.
The problem is, I don't think you can account for every scenario where they go and you've got a quality player like Neto that I thought should have started. I said that's going to go and be able to go and jink inside after, like a Trent, a Szoboszlai looked like he was blowing. Gravenberch all of a sudden the distances aren't starting to get right because you're later on in the game. I think that's what a sub does. But I think if you go and look at Sancho, right, when he ran it in, boom, you win the ball. I think he went and Trent won the ball. I think you go and look at, I think Madueke is a problem, but you look at even Cole Palmer, as Harris said, enough times we've seen Cole Palmer in that area, cuts inside it and it's a goal, or he has a shot on target or whatever. Jones is there to go and block it. And I think, unfortunately, like, if we don't watch them enough, like every single game, and some people do, I know I don't, but when you start to like deep it and look at, all right, cool, I'm going to have a look at just this odd game and see how City play. Like I watched the City game yesterday. And Wolves, there was enough times where I saw that brother with the big eyes. Was it Formby or whatever his name is? That Forbes. Forbes, yeah. I've seen enough times when he was getting the ball and running at them and it looked like raw. We saw Adama Traore against City, right? Looked like he's running at them as well. Like Adama Traore looked like raw. He's going on through on goal. Now, that was much worse than what we're seeing there because you was at 1v1 versus the keeper and missing goals. Liverpool don't allow players to be 1v1 versus the keeper ever. Against Klopp, that was a constant. We saw it. It was enough times Man's running through and Van Dijk's trying to play the high line and it's offside, and we don't have that at all now. You can have the ball in front of us because guess what? 9 times out of 10, you're not scoring a screamer. 9 times out of 10, shoot from distance. You ain't going to do anything. If we're in front of you, that's the best thing. And we're going to go and try to stop the block or stop the shot, of course. But if you take a shot and it goes into the top bins, cool. We can talk about getting out there closer and stuff. But that never happens in the game. What you can't account for, though, is the one where, like I said, and you go back to Madueke time, where he's touching the ball and then you're not being aggressive and he's able to then cut back on his left and play Palmer in for the shot. That can't happen. And I think Trent done that really well. But these things where they're just going and breaking and stuff, if Caicedo gets the ball and runs 20 times, but then has to check back and pass out wide because he's got no gaps to run into. There's no gap where he can play a pass. You can't play it out. You can't play it back. You can't play it in the center. There's no space. All right, I've just got to give it to Sancho. Sancho gets it all of a sudden. Gravenberch doubles up. And now Sancho's at this and he's just got to go and pass backwards. Liverpool can do that all day. And I think that's defensive structure. And I think that's why Liverpool are not conceding goals like that. And I think those chances, that opportunities, they're not really opportunities. I think it's like, let him run with the ball there. It's like, it's
I think we're going to...
Pardon?
21st of October, people. 21st of October, 2024. come back to this conversation at the end of the season. I hope that we come back to this conversation and everyone says, gee, man, you was worried about nothing. Me personally, it gives me worry. Every single game I'm watching, I'm just like, for fuck's sake, there's always a 20-minute period. Now, I'm not saying, yes, in every game, every team, they're going to have an opportunity. Like, it's impossible to stop every team from having a chance. I don't care if it's Alaves or Getafe or Celta Vigo. You know what I mean? Like, it doesn't matter. Sevilla yesterday against Barca, like, they're gonna have these opportunities. Why I put this up is that what I want you guys to stop doing, stop showing the stats. The stats are not going to show you. As in like the stats ain't gonna. It's like the stats ain't gonna show you what I'm actually talking about. That's always gonna be the issue. Is stats will just show you literally exactly what you guys want to see, which is in your head. It looks great and this, that, and the third. And by the way, I've got no problem. You guys already know I like Slot's football. I like what he's doing defensively. We look better than what we've ever looked like. Well, let me not say ever, but what we've looked like in recent seasons under Jurgen Klopp. Can it be better? Of course it can. Can we be better in other aspects? Of course we can, kind of thing. But it's just one of those kind of things, where the way I'm looking at it is just there are moments in almost every game, and to the point that big up Pops for what you said about it's Neto. It doesn't have to be Neto though. It could be a player of not even a higher level like that. So whoever else we played, so Bournemouth, that kind of Brentford, that kind of level. Like every team will have at least a player in their team that can cause you a problem, so to speak. Like it's just one of those things, whether it's Embuemo to Morgan Gibbs White to Semenyo to
I'll say as well, like,
Neto.
to be fair, because I said I can't agree with you on that. Man was that like, don't get me wrong, there's a part to just enjoy the game and know that if you're playing against good teams, of course that's going to happen to you, but it happens to the best teams. But like, because we're Liverpool, and I don't mean in the obnoxious way, like we're Liverpool, we're messing with the top 3 in the league, and that's us. So it's going to be fine margin. So that's why we bring it up, because it's not about it. It doesn't need to be loads of times in a game. It could be just one time, bro. It is fine margins, you know. Like, of course, you can't account for everything, bro, but it's fine margins, bro. Because if it's a 0-0 game against City or whatever, and it's just that one chance you're talking about, all of a sudden on the day the guy actually puts it in the net. It's a long day, bro.
And you know what I mean? What ends it?
If that goes into Vinny, love for him. If that goes into Vinny, it's a goal, bro.
And what I don't want is, and I think what frustrates me more, not even Slot, bro, keep doing your thing. Clearly you're doing well, right?
Yeah.
But what frustrates me more is exactly what Savage is saying. I'm not saying it to look at this and be like, guys, we need to fit. No, bro.
No.
At the end of the day, if the team is it's just looking at the game. But I've said this, and you guys will, if you've watched any of my match reactions, I've literally said the exact same thing for every single game. So it's not like I've just picked it out for this game. This has happened all season. For me anyway. But again, I'm not, the stats are not going to show you, but Liverpool have conceded 8 goals. No, forget what the stats show you.
Because there's a big like appreciation of the defense too. We've only conceded this many goals so far. That's fine. That's dope.
Yeah, and that's really good, by the way.
The context to that is that's not all just down to our defending. That's just some man being rubbish in front of goal, blood. Like,
yeah,
we were controlling the game against United. Rashford pulled out 2 crosses to Xerxes, bro. They should have scored both of them. Simple shots and that, bro. So you get me? We dominate AC Milan. 10 minutes left, and then Leal started to play football. Easy, passive, man just running through, man, and that report. So it is like, it's just more of a concentration level, keep it for the whole of games and that, bro, because I don't want to be in that position where we're getting to the end of games and then someone's sneaking a winner or a draw in there and that. I mean, we already had that against Nottingham. I'm trying to see that again.
And yesterday, what happened? What was the thing that you said that no one wanted to mention?
The Robbo block.
The Robbo block. If Robbo doesn't block that, Liverpool draw 2-2.
Yeah.
I guarantee everyone in this chat is now looking at man funny.
Yeah, everyone's acting like it never happened at all. But I'm like, Gusto had a free shot, you know, blood.
Free shot. And that was going into the corner, and what? Now all of a sudden, the perspective of the game looks so different. Oh, Liverpool should have done this, and we should be doing. Bro, fine margins will not show you these things all the time in a stat.
Exactly.
And metric.
As
you have to watch it with your eyes, like.
The one thing we should know about is fine margins, bro. It's literally been it's been our life for the last, I don't know, blood 6-7 years, bro. It's always been fine margins, Liverpool. We've had the odd season where we've just not been good enough at all. But all the rest of them have been like a point and that. Fine margin. It's all fine margins, bro. Or it's a Champions League final, back post are fine margins. It's them little things, bro. So we're not Brighton. You get me? When they're not expected to do anything, bro. So of course these things are gonna happen, but
big up, Mike. I don't know if he's there in the background, but big up to your damn self. Onslaught has provided an injury update on Diogo Jota. Had to be substituted, and I'm not sure what it is, but I'd be surprised if he is there on Wednesday. So I think that was kind of obvious from kind of the way he came up.
He looked like he mashed up his ribs, but when he sat up, his nose was bleeding as well.
Yo, you know when you just go through too many things happening at the same time. Like.
Yeah, that's crazy, bro.
Mike,
James Pierce.
Just before you go, I just want to get Mike's opinion quickly. Bro, chat to me. Obviously, just how you saw the game, likes, dislikes. Really just that, and then sorry, Harrison, and you can.
Look, man, this is very much a Arne Slot performance against top teams in Europe. He's gonna keep doing this, where we're not gonna control the game, but we're gonna control the game off the ball. Be in a good defensive shape. I've seen this too many times with Arne when he was at Feyenoord against Ajax. He allowed Ajax maybe 60, 65% ball possession, but every time he got the ball, quick counterattacks, very effective with the counterattacks. And that was a prime example yesterday. The only problem yesterday was when we got the ball, holy shit, we were terrible. I'm going to be honest. The first half on the ball, probably until we got the penalty, I was like, guys, just keep it simple. Even Gakpo couldn't even get the ball out wide and be effective.
He was
Salah, I mean, Salah was pretty good in the first half, and then Salah was really good in the second half, in my opinion. He was the only one of the front three. I'm like, oh yeah, look, he's showing up. The rest of them, Szoboszlai, love the guy, but his performances keep on declining. His off the ball work rate, you cannot be negative about. But on the ball, Szoboszlai consistently decision making is poor. And overall, was I happy with the performance? No, not really. But we got the victory. We didn't even have to play at our best to beat Chelsea. And I thought Chelsea were actually pretty good until they got to the final third. So overall, good performance can definitely improve. And this is another issue that we are going to have to face with Liverpool this season is what is our best midfield combination? Obviously, we know the two of the guys. We know it's Gravenberch and McAllister. But who's going to be that third guy? I would have hopefully seen Harvey Elliott, but now he's obviously injured. Maybe it could be Curtis Jones because Szoboszlai with just the decision-making, that's the only issue I have. And we're going to have to get rid of Robertson soon, by the way. I mean, after this season, because he was getting cooked. I mean, was it 2 1-on-1s Madueke had in the first half? And he beat Robertson, not with just some crazy move that we haven't seen. Just a little bit of like
he just shifted it past him.
He just shifted it. Feint one way, go the other way. That was just too simple for Robertson.
You know, there's a game that you'll play and you'll start to notice. You know, like if like a prime example, when someone's super fast and they play one match and you're like, right, this brother's kind of slow now. Like it's like you just watch a game out of nothing where something about their physicality just changes, and you're like, when did this happen? These times it's really probably been happening for a while. But yeah, no, I hate what you're saying about the rubber.
No, yeah, look, and I mean, Enz is saying he got past him twice. That's cooked. I mean, Enz, it wasn't anything special to get past Robertson. I mean, they were very simple, just moves. Okay, feint one way, go the other way, and if Madueke could just put in a better ball into the box, could have been a goal for Chelsea. And then how would have Liverpool reacted going 1-0 down in this game? But yeah, look, overall, decent performance, and we got the victory. All I just wanted was to win. Because after international break, we obviously got no McAllister, Diaz off the bench. It was a pretty flat performance. I thought the crowd as well was really flat. I'm not going to lie. I don't know how it was for you guys.
The crowd's always rubbish, man.
Yeah, I mean, the crowd was rubbish. And I
thought the crowd was decent.
Second half towards the end, they were good, but in the game,
I can't tell because I got no Sky Sports here where I'm at. But yeah, good performance, man. And look, Kelleher also good performance, even though he had nothing to do in the game. Literally just one shot was on target, right? I think for Chelsea, one shot on target, which was the goal.
Yeah, two.
What was the second one?
I feel like was it one? I think it was one where they went long and then Robertson. I don't know what happened to him, but he just glitched and he just dropped. And then I think Madueke played the ball into the box, and then I think it was him and I think it was Kelleher and what's his name, Jones, who was able to make a block. But I'm not sure if that counts as a save.
No, it's not that.
But apparently,
shot on target on the goal. It was the Palmer. Palmer had like one of them P rollers, bro, and he just picked.
Yeah.
I have a question for you guys though. Are you guys going to be happy if we have this approach every single game against the big teams, that we're a little bit more in the defensive shape when we hit teams on the counterattack? Or would you like in certain moments of the game that we would take it to the opponent?
I think we will.
If we win the game, I won't mind. If we don't win the game, I'll mind. I'll tell you that. It will literally be that type of vibe because, yeah.
But it's either or, innit? Because you could try to take it to them. Because I'm saying you could try to take it to them and you could still lose, innit? Like you could try to take we've done that under Klopp so many times. We try to take the game to Atletico Madrid and take the game to these guys, and then we end up losing, innit? So if we're gonna just be a bit more defensive and a bit more like savvy with it, I don't mind, man. I don't mind.
I'll say what Michael said. Because if it's the Premier League and it's 3 points you need, yeah, I mean these kind of games can easily end in a draw, bro. But if it's like cup match and that, and it's like we don't need this or we only need this 1 point to get here, then I'll take it. It's fine.
Yeah. Finals don't do it. Don't go gung ho like.
We don't have thingy. We don't have away goals in thingy anymore in the Champions League. But if you've won the first game 3-0 or something like that, I'll take this kind of game easy. Yeah,
you see in pre-season against Arsenal, we played the same way. I remember this game because
but that Arsenal was like totally defensive towards the second half.
Like no. In preseason, they had a lot of the ball, and they just
that's what I said. Preseason, preseason game, we were just slide tackling and blocking everything.
Yeah. So like, even the goals that we scored, there was one where I think someone played Salah the ball, and Salah was just straight in behind. Yeah, if you look at the times where we played Salah the ball, and he just had to hold up the ball. That's the exact same thing I saw in pre-season against Arsenal. Is what I saw against Chelsea as well. So, is it a way that we're gonna keep playing against the bigger teams? I think yes, we will.
I guess it depends how the big team plays, because if you play against Spurs or someone like that, then you probably play like if you're playing against City. You don't.
I was just gonna say exactly, Savage. I was just gonna say, like, it just depends on, again. You know Chelsea are going to try to dominate the ball. So why are you going to go and try and get into a game where you're both trying to dominate the ball and they might be better at it than you at a certain game, and then you're going to concede? You've got to go in with a certain thing. Like Liverpool against City back in the day with Klopp and against Guardiola was top because they knew City want teams to step off them and be in a low block because they're really good at breaking down that low block. Once you go and disrupt that and you're like mad aggressive on them and you press them, now you're forcing them to do something that they're not used to do, which is keeping the ball under pressure in areas that usually teams will just drop off against them. And I think that's what benefits them. But I wouldn't want us to go and try like necessarily go and try overwhelm like Real Madrid with possession and stuff, because we've seen what happens when Real Madrid give us possession. We can't break them down, and then they catch you on a counter, and you're looking at it and you're like, rah, how did it go from 1-0 to 3-1 all of a sudden? Like, to us, do you know what I mean? That's what it was, or 4-1, whatever it is. You got to be smart about it. You got to understand what the opposition is going to do.
Do you think we'll play like this against Madrid though?
Let's get to that. Let's get to that. I don't wanna divert. We'll get to that preview when we get to that preview. Let me go through, because I need to leave in literally 10-15 minutes, really. Let's go through the player ratings, and then we need to. I'm gonna head on out of here. Keller, what are we saying? People in the chat, throw your scores up as well, please.
6 for me. You don't have much to do.
7.
7.
Jerry, Mike. Jerry,
Who's that? Who's that though?
Keller.
6. He didn't have anything to do. 7. He didn't have anything to do in it. Or 6 maybe, because you can see the goals. 6. Yeah.
I'll go 6.5. Trent.
7.
7.
Going forward, it was average. Defensively, he was solid, so I give him a 7. Yeah.
8 for me.
Mike?
Yeah, I would go 8. I think it was a really good 8.
We'll go right in the middle then. There's two of you.
Who are saying
that. Konate. Ibu. Yeah, if you guys ever need to put a bet on someone to get a yellow card, man, Ibu is definitely one of your guys, man.
6.5. I feel like him and Jackson, it was a 50-50 battle at times with them two.
I got 8 for Konate still. Apart from the step up, obviously, on the goal, I think he was.
Oh yeah. So yeah, that's why I said 6.5 for him.
Although I will say, Riv, like, when I finished watching the game this morning, that the ball, like, weird pass from Caicedo, because he doesn't play the ball between Virgil and Konate. He plays it between Virgil and Robbo, like,
on the outside.
On the outside.
But that was where I got mad at both. This is the Virgil and Konate issue, because the reality is that he shouldn't have been in a position whereby he's able to have gotten round both Konate and gotten round a thing into space to then run onto, like, for Robbo can't do nothing in that situation.
Robbo's too far away.
He's too far away for all of that. Like, that's between those two. They got pattern out.
Yeah, and I didn't read it.
Yeah, it's always what you say, to be fair, G, with, like, in terms of leadership in the back end.
Yeah, I said 100 times with Virgil. I look at you and I'm like, bro, I feel like you're on your own thing when you defend sometimes. You keep thinking that everyone's on your wavelength. Brother, you need to...
from his point of view, it might be, I don't want to keep babying you all the time and having to tell you, like, when to step up, because we've been playing the system for a long time. So that might be his mentality, but
I don't think though Virgil should have stepped up there. I think he just followed the ball, innit? I think if you follow the ball,
all of a sudden that Jackson chance, like, because Robertson covered a lot of ground to get back near Jackson. All of a sudden, if Virgil's putting him off, with an arm and stuff, do you know what I mean? You know, Jackson's not now no clinical finisher and stuff like that. He's probably going to blaze that over. You gave him so much time to just go and wrap it like instep near post, innit? Like it's just he needs to just follow the pass instead of trying to play offside or I'm not trying to baby you. Yeah, Konate's gone and like he's covering the inside. The ball's gone on the left side of Virgil. Virgil's got to follow that pass, but he just turns around and's like, oh man.
Yeah, that's what I said as well. Because Konate definitely thinks that he's playing them off. He thinks he's holding the line, and to be fair to him, it's only his leg in it, so it's not like he had stepped up completely on that, bro. But you're right. Once the ball got played, when I watched it back, I'm like, bro, what? The pass weren't that great, bro. It was a decent.
I thought that pass was stunning from Caicedo.
That Caicedo pass, bro.
Yeah, that was a good pass.
I wouldn't say it was needy. I just thought like it was just a calm
that's the
part,
most basic pass to me, blood. Like I don't know, bro.
But context will tell you that a basic pass may be for like
Virgil
a different type of player.
And then Virgil with zero urgency to try and get back in him. Man just ran chilling. Let Konate and that dude.
That was a good
he just thinks it's offside because I've seen that.
To me,
many times.
For you to get let's put it this way, for you to get that level of accuracy to force that situation anyway to happen, bro, like it had to be a good pass, like because any other pass wasn't making it. And the fact that he was so like close to being offside, like everything just had to be perfect at that moment. I thought it was a good pass, man. I don't want to discredit him with the opportunity. But what we saying in there for Ibu? What did you guys?
That's an
7.
I think it was
7.
I think that's
7.5.
Apart when he bodied and Cuckoo for no reason, apart from that.
Bro, Ibu always has like this game, bro. Just random, like why you body checking, man? Virgil, El Capitan.
I'll give him an 8. Defended his box well.
Thought he was good. Thought his passing was really good. Well.
Apart from one moment with Palmer where he just kicked it straight at Palmer, but and went for a goal kick. Bit slow on that one, but other than that, yeah, he was sound.
Just see the comment there.
Yeah, it's all right. Caicedo had too much time to make that pass, but the midfield was moving a bit slow there.
Midfield was moving a bit janky.
Gravenberch was scratching his head on that.
Oh, we'll get to him. Don't you worry. Robert.
Who?
5.
Robert.
6.
6.
I just put you back in. Yeah, that's your internet. I don't know. Yeah, we'll go with 6. Jones.
9.
8.
Yep, 9.
I'll go 8.5.
I think he was the best player, but I still don't even think he was like incredible. And that's my guy, bro.
No, he annoyed me at several points in the game.
Taking that's what I'm saying, bro. Because you was we didn't watch long.
Oh
yeah.
The
chat when after the thingy, blood. Man, we're acting like that's why he can't play for us. Get him out.
Honestly, there were moments in the game though that when Gakpo obviously scored the offside goal. I was like, Jones, my brother, like, I don't need you taking 10 years. Just pass the ball so man can pass the ball and do that same move literally 2 seconds earlier. Like, there is no reason why you needed to carry on with that. But cool, you know what, you done that. Then for the penalty shout, which we'll talk about in a second, it wasn't a fucking penalty. Jones just took too fucking long to shoot. Bro, just shoot, bro.
Funny enough, I have more empathy for him on the penalty one than I do on the pass what he should have made to Salah. Because when I watched the replay, I'm like, I can see him trying to steady himself. Whereas the one to Salah, it's almost like now I've got something completely different in mind. I'm like, no, just give it to Salah, bro. He's made the run already.
Just give it to fucking.
Was that for the offside goal for Gakpo?
Yeah. Just give it
for the Gakpo. Yeah, brother. It was so annoying. Like, bro, I don't think you understand how frustrated I was in that moment because I was like, in my mind, I kept thinking to myself, he's gonna play it now. 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 And he never did it. And then I was like, what are you doing? Like, I don't. And then when he plays it, he's offside. And I'm like, yeah, like, come on, bro. Like, I feel like ENDZ's under 13s would know that you need to just play the ball a bit sooner than that. Do you get what I'm trying to say? Like, I don't know, man. But listen, other than those 2 instances, I thought Jones was very good in the game. Yeah, I saw him tracking back, making tackles. Obviously, he scored. I thought he was calm. Gravers. Grabbers. I'd love to hear what people say about this.
I got 7, man. I don't think we It's funny here because every time someone mentions us not controlling the midfield, and they're happy to say that, but then when you say, well, Gravenberch is there, then they just want to act like nothing happened, bro. I'm like, isn't it part of controlling the midfield?
I think defensively he was. Yeah, go on.
He was good in the first half defensively. I thought he was, and then I'm still trying to figure out why Caicedo had so much damn time on the ball, blood. But
I think it's the Gusto situation, though, isn't it? Like we said, it's the fullback situation.
Yeah.
You had to watch the inverted fullback.
I've got Gravenberch at 6, so wherever you guys kind of play around
as well.
I said 7 anyway, so I don't know.
I put 6.5. I thought he was super meaty in the game as an overall.
That was good, you know.
Salah.
I got him same as Jones, so I got 8.
Yep, 8.
Passing
thought he was good. Yeah,
the short passing sometimes weren't it, but the decisive passes he made them perfect.
His final third passes are very good, more than his normal passes back to.
He's enjoying himself. Though. He really he was having fun, man. It's always good to see when Salah's like. But I said that before the game started. When it's a big game, I ain't worried about Salah.
Yeah,
like
Jon Cena.
Said that fucking Jon Cena. Nah, obviously Salah did the thing that certain man. I'm saying running back and that. I think he ran back like 2 meters or something like that.
He defended well.
Give me a 10 in that.
When Thingy got past Trent and that man covered it so quick, but I said, all right, I hear it, Salah.
It's so dumb. Everyone's saying 8. Yeah, it seems like it should be that. Who else is there? Supposedly.
Listen, I told you that I watched the game back, innit?
Yeah.
I'm not marking him enabled. Non-applicable.
What score you got? I'm giving him a 5. I thought he was average.
You might have hit it, bro. When you watch that game back, but you realise that man didn't.
It's like he doesn't want to drive with the ball. Like
this is
at the start of the season, last season, he wanted to drive with the ball, but now he's just more receptive to like short passes and then moving into space. Last season, this guy was driving with the ball into space. Yeah, sometimes his final ball might not have been the greatest. Yeah, but we actually saw confidence from this guy. And I'm starting to think, is he just a confidence player now?
You know what, Bev? You know, normally when man will go over the top about him and say that he's just running around and it's quite rude. That's what he was doing yesterday. When I watched it back, that's what he was doing. Like I was saying stuff after the game, like, nah, but he was pressing well and making good tackles and that. No tackles when I watched it back, but just running around, pressing. So
let's see what his game was like. 82% accurate passes.
Do you think he's one of those players? Yeah.
4 touches in opposition box. 6 passes into final third. I don't know.
Like an Enzo Fernandez, where they're not suited to the league. Like they'll be better like in La Liga or like a Serie A. Do you think he's one of those ones?
Zobo's suited to the league absolutely fine. I think Zobo.
In terms of like on the ball.
He doesn't need to be good on the ball though. He doesn't need to be
because if you look at like the German league, the types of goals that he was scoring, like the areas he was in, or if it's just a system thing. Because I've always said that he's more of like a right mid.
Well, mostly at RB Leipzig, he was a left winger, so that's probably the issue as well. Yeah, so he's playing now as a right CM, where he's not really comfortable in that situation either. And I think he's stuck in 2 minds on what to do with the ball. And right now, his decision making is awful. And G left out one incredible stat: he was 0 out of 6 with ground duels.
So I was right. So I was right then when I watched it back.
Yep,
that's fine.
Yep, he didn't win any ground duels in the game.
All I'm saying is, man, I have to say it once, say it twice. It ain't about his position. It's when he gets on the ball, he ain't doing the right stuff. Now, I don't need him. He doesn't need to be excellent on the ball, but I need you to be like somewhat competent on the ball, and he wasn't.
Yeah. I wonder why then. I guess there's always actually a reason, which is actually funny. Like Jones is not available, or McAllister has to go on the bench because obviously he's coming back from injury, or Elliott is obviously out, but he keeps picking him. He don't look like he wants to drop him anytime soon. But again, like I said, there have been reasons as well. As I said, Elliott not being there, and Well, I say that. I mean, I don't know.
That,
we will never know until.
The way I feel about yesterday's game, I don't feel the same way about every game. I don't. So I'm not comparing him on any other game because there's other games where people have cost him for not doing the number 10 thing, but I can still see off the ball he is still good tackling and pressing and doing stuff. It's just that yesterday there was nothing, bro. Yesterday he was like basically doing what Gakpo done, but Gakpo didn't do anything, and he just did something to run around and make it look like he's doing stuff. They're both rubbish.
What I did feel though is that outside of Jones, I felt the midfield for me. That's why I said McAllister had a poor score. So I would agree, by the way, the poor score for Szoboszlai.
Yeah, their midfield was better.
Chelsea's midfield was better than our midfield.
Yeah,
100%. It was very evident from like the first, as Michael said about first half. Yeah, it was not popping at all. Yeah. I'll give Zobo a 3 just because I see Mandem out here getting onto him.
For writing his name in there.
Gakpo.
Same blood.
Yeah,
in fact, he might be worse.
He wasn't getting the ball as much. As
exactly. He wasn't getting the ball at all.
I can't even say, when he got on the ball, man was dead.
That's what Diaz did
because there was times where he was able to get on the ball and he switched the play at times. So I feel like it's a bit unfair to say.
If you think that I'm going to mark him because he got the ball and passed it, that's a footballer.
No. Just in terms of like he wasn't getting the ball as much as Salah. If he was getting the ball as much as Salah and being stinky with it, then I can say, man was awful. Like,
no, I get your point. I said the same thing to G yesterday. I said he ain't been rubbish in terms of on the ball. He's been rubbish. He's just been non-existent. But at some point, I just but at some point I just got marked non-existent as the same thing, rubbish. Because unless you're a striker where no one's feeding you at all in terms of chances and that, like you're Haaland or someone. Rev, just get involved in the game, man. And then he even stopped helping Robbo, blood. At the beginning of the game, he was doubling up, helping him. Then he just left him. Said, you deal with Madueke King Palmer, and I'll stay up here, blood, doing nothing, bro. Sucks, blood.
I've got Gakpo at 4. I don't know how you guys.
I'll give him a 5 because of his defensive.
I would give him 5.
I give him exactly the same as I gave Szoboszlai. Maybe worse, bro. Man was that host, blood. Man was Casper, bro. Gengar, haunted, blood. Nothing.
I don't know if you guys want to mark Jota or you want to mark Nunez instead.
Not really. No, you can't really mark Jota.
Nunez.
Yes, and Nunez. All right, I'll change it. I didn't know how you. Yeah, I just had him up there because
I sent you stats yesterday, innit, G? Of Nunez.
Yeah. Like I said, it's how you guys want to mark the players.
So
how do you want to mark
Nunez? Involvement in the game, he was involved. He when he came on, that flick to Salah. Was actually a good flick. There was times where he was involved in the game, but not like from like an on the ball perspective. Like this guy was running into players. What's his name? Badiashile, beefing man. He was just being a shit house yesterday.
Yeah, he made his
presence. So I can't rate him for like as Savage said. Like on the ball, perspective, like with Gakpo, I can't really rate you.
Yeah, he played that through ball into Jones when he took that long block.
Yeah,
to Gakpo. Yeah, the through pass to Gakpo.
Yeah, the through pass.
Darwin. Yeah, from his own half.
That was Darwin. That should have been an assist.
You know how who was it? Szoboszlai had 0 out of 6 ground duels. Darwin had 7 out of 12.
Yeah, it looked like it as well. He was making that was a proper presence on it when he came on.
Have you seen his
that was
a very Shakespearean performance from him.
Have you seen his position? Have you seen his what do you call it? His average positioning?
Where was
I didn't even look at the. Yeah, I didn't even look at it.
It was like rats in the middle, or
something.
Yeah,
but he was on it, bro.
Hey, man, he wants us to. Well, he's happy now because obviously Jota's, from what honestly I think said earlier on, Jota's going to be out for the game against RB Leipzig at least. So he knows he's starting in that game at the bare minimum.
Oh yeah, Leipzig don't want to play him again because do you remember when he first came there and he sat in like 4 or 5 goals against them? Then Leipzig tweeted after and said, "I hope we don't see him anytime soon." Well, they're going to see him again in the Champions League, but this time probably be 4 or 5 big chances missed or something than rather goals scored. So
Nunez won more duels and was fouled more times than any other player on the pitch.
This guy might be Lucas Torre. Or what's the Uruguayan midfielder? Torreya. That's
Ugarte. Oh.
Torreya, no. Fuck yeah, no. What would you guys give him? What's your score?
6.
6.5.
I mean, he had no shots on target, so he had no shots.
Yeah, no, that's a typical Nunes performance. So that I'm not too surprised about. I don't care about the rest of the subs. In regards to Slot, how are you looking at his overall performance in terms of game management and stuff like that? How are you guys?
I think his game management was. I'm not sure what he told them, but like, there wasn't. I think it was like Liverpool were trying to go back for another goal. I'm not sure if that was his tactic. Probably was because they were all doing it. Like they weren't keeping the ball and trying to just like, slow down the game. And then in terms of like the game plan, yeah, I think he did well. So I'll give him a 7.
I hear people saying 9s and that. I hear it. So Max saying 7.5.
I'm probably the same as Harris, maybe 8. I don't know, man. Kept Solo on the pitch all game, blood. So yeah, I mean, I ain't trying to see that. But
before we head on out of here, just before we end on a good note, just I feel like
if he doesn't leave Liverpool, he'll catch up. He'll break their records and they'll just be behind Kane.
You think he'll get behind Kane?
Yeah, in terms of goals, that's who he'll be behind. He'll break Henry's record. Not the GA. I don't care about no damn GA blood, but the goals.
Oh, because I would have said GA, he'll get in front of Kane. I think he'll beat that calm.
Oh yeah, GA. I'm not one of these new school youths, blood. I don't care about no damn GA blood. I'll do the assist separate and the goal separate blood.
Goals, Goals.
He'll break Aguero. He'll break Thingy, Henry, and I think he's like 20 behind. I think he's like 20 behind Thingy now or something like that, 23. And then I think Andy Cole, he's like 27 behind. And Andy Cole's the one and 4th on the list. And then after that, it's all like people he can't catch, bro, unless he stays at Liverpool forever. But,
yeah, I say definitely. I think before the end of the season, I don't know, before the end of the season, I don't know, that means he'd have to score another
22 goals,
14 more goals.
22 goals to catch Aguero, isn't it?
Oh, to catch Aguero?
25 to catch Andy Cole. If he stays at Liverpool.
Oh yeah, no. Oh, sorry. If he stays, yes.
Stays at Liverpool.
I mean, this season. I'm only going based off just this season.
I was about to say he breaks Andy Cole's record by next season, but if he leaves this season, I think he just gets ahead of Lampard. Stays behind Aguero.
So you think he can score another 18 goals?
Yeah. Fucking Salah, bro.
No, I hear all of that. Listen, I'm you know me, I'm his biggest fan, but I feel like you would have to start remembering that his goals are. I don't think his goals are going to be shared. Like I think the goals are just going to be shared out in whatever.
How many goals is he on now in the Prem?
In the Prem,
because it's the Prem. This isn't it?
Yeah, this is the Prem.
Yeah.
All right, Salah this season is on
5 or 6, I think he is, but I can't remember.
He's on 5 goals.
5 goals, 10 games in.
Who's Salah?
Even if you equated that, like you went to the next 10 games or no, not even 10 games. Really, it's 8. It's only 8 games he's played in the Premier League. Yeah, so
yeah, I get what you mean.
Did you get? I mean, like I'm not saying, bro. Come on.
Yeah, I know what you mean. They'll probably score like another 14 goals for the rest of the season.
Yeah, and that's what I think he'll get. Like he can hit maybe the 20 mark. But
yeah, he'll get it in all competitions. He'll get more than that, but in the Prem, probably like another 14. I hear it. But like I said, you know what I said at the beginning of the season, I'm still got him breaking that assist record. I think he can do it.
Oh, you know what? I mean, so far he's got
Henry's record is
5.
I know Henry's record is 20
in the Premier League so far. So if it's 20, he's got 15 more assists. He needs to pattern up.
He can get it. Darwin got 12 last season, didn't it?
In the Premier League.
I don't know. Oh. But he got 12 and Harvey got like 11 off the bench, bro. I think he can do it, bro. Now, obviously, the man them have to be a bit more clinical at the top, which so far they have been. But because we're having way less shots now, isn't it, as well? So
that's what I'm saying. So yeah, they're gonna have to be a hella more clinical, boy. And I don't know about that. Honestly said Virgil van Dijk on his contract situation. I can say obviously discussions are ongoing, but I don't know. We will see what happens in the future. My very full focus is on Liverpool. We will leave it there, people. Maybe ENDZ or someone will do a stream later on talking about it, but I do have to head out. As you guys already know, Liverpool top of the table after 8 games, 1 point ahead of Manchester City, as I kind of thought. Arsenal now 4 points behind that, chilling with the Villas and the Brightons and that. Hey, pussy holes, man. Guys, have you got anything else? Mike, have you got anything today? Anything that people need to look forward to? Are you back?
Nah, man.
Yeah, been a bit quiet in that, man. What's going on, bro?
Nah, man. I moved, bro. I moved to sunnier
settings. What you done? I mean, I'm asking about your streams. The people are asking about your streams, bro.
Yeah, bro. Don't worry about that, man. I'll come with the Champions League review this week. I'll talk about Barcelona, Bayern. Oh, I cannot wait, man. Oh, I cannot wait, G. That is going to be a tasty game.
Let's hope Barca don't lose this time.
That's why you got 2 screens, 3 screens,
first of
bro.
all, I was going to say, first of all, there's 2 screens. Secondly, I'm not bothered about Liverpool versus RB Leipzig. I'll catch that on a replay. Let's watch the Bayern.
Actually, G, the RB Leipzig-Liverpool game is going to be good because RB Leipzig been balling out this season. With Šeško and them, man.
On my TV is Barcelona versus Bayern. If my phone will, like, if anyone got a link, I'll watch the Liverpool.
I got things.
It's gonna be interesting.
Dortmund, don't talk to me on that day, blood. None of yous, bro.
There you go.
It's like the final, bro. Man, trying to message me and that. But what do you want me to do, bro? Just gotta sit there and cheer for both goals that go in, blood. You get me?
Yes. Yeah, just keep Hey, that's gonna be joke. All right, guys, make sure you stay tuned and locked in for that. Make sure you subscribe to Michael Talks Football. Make sure you subscribe to Savage Talks Football. Make sure you follow Harris on Twitter. His link is in all my description, so please make sure you guys go and do that. And I don't know if you're doing anything later on today, but of course, you guys just keep your notification bells on.
Yeah, if ENDZ doesn't do anything, I'll do something. So hopefully, he does do something, so I don't have to do it.
Yeah. So there you guys have it. Savage or ENDZ will be going live at some point today, so make sure you guys stay locked in. I'll catch you guys. I think this will redirect you to my video for whenever we play Leipzig. So Wednesday, I think Wednesday morning, I'll do the preview for that game. Take a look at I need to watch actually Leipzig's game over the weekend as well, so we can do the preview properly. So guys, make sure you stay tuned, stay locked in. Catch you later. Peace.